We are not live. Hello, hi everyone. We are good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Not live. Welcome to this Friday night builds, and I believe we're going to start off with rounds of introduction, and then I will go into hi everyone stages. We are a morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Not live. Welcome to this. Talking. I'm Calvin. I'm the creator for COTI, and joining with me are my team members at COTI. Robert, you want to jump in?
Hi, I'm Robert. I'm the director of events. Just came back from a meetup today we've organized, and we've actually done some ideation there with our visitors to form their projects. So I'm looking forward to this session, and I hand it to you, Kit.
Yes, I'm from Tony. I am the creator. So I'll hand it over to Percival.
Hey, happy Friday, everyone. I'm Percival. I'm Dev Relations Engineer at the COTI team. It's a pleasure to be with this awesome team today.
Henry, you want to jump in?
Yes, so hello everyone. I'm Henry. I am developer relation at COTI and excited to be here today.
Okay, awesome. So let's jump right into it, right? The cool thing about our panelists here is that I'm pretty sure all of us have been part of startups and from various stages of the, well, what was it? The startup life cycle.
Maturity.
Yeah, so the startup life cycle, right? From being a founder itself until and being working in corporate in a mature company, right? So yeah, basically this live stream, it's all about the thought process and my thought process on what what projects I should jump into, and maybe even using AI to validate the idea before having to talk to a potential client, or even ask questions to people that that might be my potential customers, right? Okay, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna share my screen here.
Yep.
I apologize if there's a little bit of background noise. I'm
Not
living in
noisy.
Bangkok, and it gets quite. Oh wow!
Yeah, today we're
Can't share my
discussing
screen.
ideation for your projects or your new ideas that you have of potential ventures. What you're doing, in case you're jumping in a new project, you're choosing
Wow.
to dedicate your time to that, your resources, instead of to other potential opportunities. So the ideation process validates for itself, okay, is this idea viable? Is there a potential market for this? And it's something I feel myself passionate enough about to dedicate the next portion of my life to. And also, is it in that sense viable enough to convince someone else in case you want to go for a grant within Web3, or if you want to start selling? A very viable, very important part of a project in case you want to go commercial. Yeah.
1 second, guys. I'm having a little bit of issues with sharing my screen at the moment. Yeah, but
In the meantime, I'd like
Robert,
to
you want to talk
mention.
about?
Yeah, I wanted to mention that this session, of course, is a community session. So the access to this call is open, is shared on the COTI official channels in Telegram and Discord. If you have any questions, you can message the mods or myself in those channels as well for support and to join us on the call. So I think screen share is working.
Do you guys see the mirror board?
I don't, because it's an addition you have to install for for
Interesting.
this.
Okay.
It's not a screen share. It's a app within Google Meets.
Okay. All right. Share the screen. Not available. I think I might have to jump in with a Google browser to start screen sharing. I'm actually using Firefox. I did not know that. Okay.
Heresy.
Heresy. Indeed.
No,
Apparently,
joking.
it's heresy for good. For
Mozilla Foundation
I'm
is
using
as well. Yeah.
Firefox for
Great.
Google, Google Works ecosystem. All right. Give me a bit. So, how about this, guys? I mean, I know if you guys have founded a startup before.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Worked.
At which, what is the pipeline from throughout the years that you've had an idea, but it never came into fruition? And what was the limiting factors?
Usually, in my case, it came to fruition because of annoyance. As in, an actual a problem found in somewhere in the real world. In the case of Web3, the hack of empty GOX triggered us to build a secure wallet for non-custodial use. And the hack of Cryptsy in 2016 triggered us to turn it into a DEX to build an alternative to centralized institutions.
Nice.
So yeah, that's very tangible starts, let's say.
Yeah. So you went for more of you found a pain point and you wanted to fix that pain point.
Yeah.
Do you find that when you're ideating, at the beginning stages, do you think about more of the commercialization, how you can monetize it, or does that come afterwards?
Initially, no. Initially, it's about, okay, how to make sure everybody wins, and not just it financially, let's say, but how do you solve the problem with something you can actually realize? And it's so if you look at academically, there's models for this. And
Yes.
we're going to talk about a few of them, of course, today as well, and how AI can help with that. But in the initial, let's say, motivation comes from a passion out of something that you're seeing as a gap. Saying, okay, something is missing here because it's not there, or it's something you don't like, which you want to resolve.
Yes.
And I think it's that drive, sometimes illogical drive, or which pushes people towards eventually start experimenting and through that find validation. And of course, I think that's the natural and organic route for the founders that eventually went big. And by big, I mean who we know, let's say, of Pham. Because I actually do wonder in terms of founders, like there are serial founders.
Yes.
I co-founded or founded, I think, about over 15 projects in my life. Not all successful, definitely not, because majority will fail on average in terms of startups. But not out of necessity to found, as in that, oh, I want to build something new. Well, what? No, but more like, oh, I run into something, let's solve this. So if you go through models, you could potentially, of course, you could ideate hundreds of ideas per week if you want to. Just go through the motions, find the resource, find the source for information, just to validate, and based on that, come up with something. Okay, there's market potential. Let's build this. But that means you're going after something which is market worthy. But is it something you care about? I think that's personally, but maybe I'm too not clinical enough about that. But I want to work on some things that feels like they matter.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I think a big part of founding it and being and working on something is you have to have at least some level of passion in either in the industry or the product itself. When founders start, usually after it takes about 5 years for that drive to for the founder to have the drive to grow the company. After 5 years, it's naturally starts to stagnate because after 5 years into things and the natural like the and how the anatomy the personality of a founder tends to want to create and build, and after 5 years, that fire, that drive, starts to go down. So I think it's super important to find a product, something that you want to work on at least for a long term.
Yeah, you could. I think you could summarize it as a founder is usually not a manager.
Yes, exactly.
Once the processes are formed and everything is running and it's about KPIs, and then the founder needs to fix something. He wants something else to fix.
Yeah, or something, or build something new. Within the company or the product. Yeah, within the organization itself. I think it's very interesting how Meta grew, and it is still Mark Zuckerberg being at the top and leading the company. It's say what you want about him, but he is still manning things and still kind of at least giving direction on where to go. A lot of questionable things. VR is an interesting, or like the metaverse is an interesting venture, but yeah. At least
of course, Meta in this case is the one exception in terms of how things are organically run, as he has controlling shares and kept them over all these years. Which after that, no other founder has been able to pull off, as far as I can tell, because VCs are aware of it now. So
we want a chunk of your company.
Yes.
But and this is something I want to ask you guys, and I want to open up. And this is something that I've never managed to get correct, because the idea of MVPs, basically the bare minimum for you to be able to sell and start selling. I have found that people get that wrong a lot of the times. When the product is half baked, the idea is good, but the product is half baked, but it's already being pushed out to market and fails. As developers, do you
fail fast, right?
Yeah,
that's the idea. And the reality of MVPs were something before the AI, and it's something completely different now, right? Because you can prototype much faster now. You can test an idea in a day. You don't need to have 3 months or 6 months to validate one idea. And that's part of the process, right? On how we create things. Being part of the community on Telegram's channel, people asking advice and asking for how to validate their ideas, right? And everyone has lots of interesting ideas, but this is just a part of the process, like building something to validate, be that MVP or not. But few people ask about market fit and the purpose of things, right? There are many other aspects we need to cover here. Besides getting an idea and building an MVP, right? Making sure that there's really some market fit and what to do has some purpose. What do you think?
The cost of generating
an idea. Real quick.
Sure. Yeah, I was going to say the cost of generating an idea has gone to zero, as you can now have all the information sources you want from the web and combine them, find correlations, causations, or combine insights, and with those ideas, and quickly also prototype, because the cost of generating prototypes with AI is also going to zero or near zero, meaning that to get the market in terms of the amount of people who want to get a market through, for instance, funding or other forms of support, the competition is getting bigger there. So what matters more now is actual traction. So you need more validation. You need potential signups already for your product. You need pre-registrations, stuff like that. So the funnel has become, in an early phase, even more important, I would say.
Definitely pre-registration. I mean, within marketing, the best time to start marketing your product is yesterday, or last month, pretty much. Let me see. Let me share my screen.
I want to add up one more thing. There is another approach that you can like focus on when you spend money on your daily life, and then when you spend money, you're thinking about it and think how software, how Web3, how AI can be leveraged and make it better, and then you build a platform to solve this. So in that thing, you make sure that because you spend money, you are make sure that if you building AI any better, people will spend money.
Yes. All right.
So I want to add it. And about pre-registered, I think it's a like a quick way to validate idea. So I usually you leverable to create a landing page, and then you get wait list to integrate the get wait list widgets to the landing page, and just go and running a $50 ads on this to make sure to check if anybody puts an email on the list. So it's a quick way. You can do it in just like half of a day to validate your idea. So
Yeah,
that's
no,
good.
I think Product Hunt is also still a place where people gather to do that, but I think it's being overcrowded now. Like you said, if you use actual ads, I think you have more natural organic flow getting in there. So it could be a better validation even. Let's see. I think Calvin is switching over from devices to make sure we can screen share. Yeah. As part of this session, we'll also be reviewing some steps you can take in your ideation and what kind of models, for instance, to use with that. And we'll be screen sharing for that. I think Calvin is going to jump into that.
I am back, and I'm finally can screen share. Oh my God. Thank you very much for waiting. Oh, Jesus. Oh, well. So this is my thought process, and it's different for everyone else. The old school way of that I was taught is for the marketing mix. And look at this. This is how old it is. Four P's place, which within the digital world, that can be. I When I was taught this, places like a coffee shop and in the mall, for example, but a physical spot there where you can distribute your product. But of course, nowadays, if it's an app, it can be the Google Play Store, and if it's on Apple, it can be the App Store.
For place, I think it's more of an eyeball thing now. Like how
Eyeball
many
is
people see your
promotion.
product?
Eyeball is promotion, but it depends on the product that you're selling as well. If you're yeah, it depends on the product as well. But the ideation stage. So today we of course had our physical meetup at True Digital Park in Bangkok, and one of my idea is a fitness tracker. So all the other fitness trackers, what they have at the moment is that if you you have to input your sets and your program in all before. Yeah, you have to. There's a lot of setup going on, and what I wanted to do was that I kind of wanted a chatbot instead, where instead of having to manually input all your workouts, you can just say, I don't know, bench press 100 kg, 3 sets to 20 reps. Example. You're incredibly strong if you can do 20 reps of 100 kg. But anyways, so how I'm a very visual person and how I think. So I need to put it all down in kind of like a messy mind map. Right? ideation stage, of course, and the idea that I want to work on. The most important part that I always that we discuss about is the need and want. Basically, put yourself in the shoes of the consumer. What need do I have that is not being fulfilled? If it's a restaurant, of course, the need is I'm hungry. I need that. I need food. And wants are not are pain points that are not as important, but it would help my life in some way, right? So
Some people classify that as Moscow. Must, should, could, or would in terms of urgency. Yeah,
that's actually very good. Moscow. I've never heard of that. Must, should,
could,
Good.
and would.
would. That is not Moscow, dude. That's Moscow. Okay, well, there we go. Must, should, could, would. So the need has to be painful. I think that is the most important part here. I've been in a lot of startups that fall into their SaaS companies that fall into wants rather than needs. And within B2B, if it's not a need, then your SaaS product is it's a cost cut, right? You can even you can probably sell it now, but on a rainy day, your product's probably the first to go, unfortunately. So in the ideation stage, it is very important to make sure that this is covered. The need of the customers, what you're trying to fix, and yeah. Does someone have their hand up? I cannot see. Painkiller
This was
over
Henry.
vitamin.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, painkiller over vitamin. And really, this is where I tend to start, even before going into place, before going into price and how to promote it. Do you guys agree with this? Opening up the door.
As a potential user, I would have a remark. If you look at the needs,
Go for it.
The need it's a, how you say, a proxy. In this case, I as a user would not have a need to track progress. I would have a need to have situational awareness, so I know if I'm improving the next time. Like the fact that I would need to put it in is not something I'm looking for, but it's a requirement. If the thing itself could passively record me doing it, and through that knowing it, then we could even skip that step, and I would love that. Because it's only about the information about what my strategy would be next. That's something in the definition of the need, I would take that into account. Yeah.
So the context here is I'm a personal trainer. So I thought that a place for clients to track progress would be the need. But for you, it's a dashboard to track progress, and a simple way to record progress. The act of putting it in and everything, that's unnecessary, right?
It's for me, that of course I try to minimize the amount of screen time.
Yeah,
he said while on the live stream, but the it's beyond work in that sense. Yeah.
I think that it matters go 3Y or 5Y is it help you to identify the root cause of the true inside of the user. Let's say user don't want the dashboard to try to prevent the why. So it's maybe it's just they want to have a better health in easy ways. I don't know, something like that. But you have to say why in 3 times or 5 times, depend, to see what is the true inside of user. So
yes,
if I want to chop a tree, it's not about it's not my reason. I want to apply, it's my reason. So
okay, so
think deeper in this way.
All right. I understand what you're saying, Henry. Basically, the act of chopping the tree isn't why you're doing it. You want to use the wood to do something else with it, right? To get the wood.
But I don't want the good. I want the fire.
Yeah, you want the fire. Okay, all right. So if you can skip
It's
all of
between
that,
my
and your wood is magically on the table for you to be, or magically just automatically thrown into your fireplace. That's perfect.
So if you think in
Well,
this way, we will not save on the buyers. Let's say there will many way to have the fire. So if
Yes.
you if we know
I
that
think-
you don't want the fire,
uh,
we can see another way to do it.
All right. Cool.
I think even then you could still treat the fire as a proxy, because if it's just as a function, like let's disregard
Yeah,
how
yeah.
nice it looks. If it's just to not be cold, a sweater would also work.
Correct. we need to find why.
Everything is a proxy, and everything can be
Yeah.
fixed.
Fair enough.
All right. Okay. Within
nothing
this,
else. You're treating the user as a single entity here, and there are different personas and different kind of users who have different
true.
needs, right? So if you simplify too much, you're focusing on a specific type of user, or on a specific need of a specific person, and you needed to have an overall view of different kind of users and their needs.
Then that is very good, because that leads into ICP, basically. Ideal customer profile. Go-to-market strategies. Who are
Which
they?
is more than one, right? You have
Yes.
different segments.
But in the ideation phase, would it be better to, especially in MVP, to find a niche or broaden it? And how broad do you want the ICP to be?
It depends on the information you have, if you know there's a niche or not. If you don't, you start with all fitness users and you narrow it down. You try to do A/B testing with them. Just find where's the need the highest, who has an actual need. Maybe through quality interviews, you find out, oh, there's a need I haven't discovered, but I should make a feature out of it, something like that.
Yeah.
If you have the
Because
time to do that, of course, in terms of research.
in terms of my fitness tracker, this is actually for me, but I'm an extreme niche. If I build this, I to be honest with you, I'm not sure if many people would download this. But basically, casual lifters that do not have a personal trainer, because ideally this would not only record the progress, but also automate a progress suggestion, so they don't have to think about what to do the next time they come in, for example. And then of course you can go into age.
Yeah.
And
And Lisa, I also like to comment on this whole process. What we're doing here in ideation, also of this session, is actually a phase in case of blockchain projects, which is often skipped. A lot of blockchain projects are a solution looking for a problem or looking for an audience. By verifying the need for the audience first, you're building something that is actually wanted and has commercial potential. So please keep that in mind.
seriously, I think we're seeing how easy it is to prototype things. There will be a lot of products out there that won't fit a need, or won't be successful because it doesn't fix anything. So I think it's very important to kind of lay the foundations for all this. Now, all of this is great in how I think, but of course, me sitting down, I tend not to just just put all this together. This tends to happen after I talk to ChatGPT. All right, okay.
Here comes the AI part.
Here comes the AI part. Which look how we've been thinking about. Oh, what need we need to fulfill and everything, right? Okay, so we already have the basics idea. So we have the ideation, fitness tracker, product, need a simple way to record, want automated progression, and ideal customer profile, age 25 to 25 or to 40. Now we go into ChatGPT 5. You know what? I haven't tried GPT-5 too much. Let's go. Help me. And the way I use ChatGPT, I don't know. It's a very different for different people. I see the developers use ChatGPT 5 a lot different for how I do it. I talk to it like I'm like it's my assistant at a company. I apologize for the cat's meowing. Help me ideate.
This is an animal-friendly broadcast, so they're more than welcome.
Yeah, that's the cats. And help me ideate the following. And notice how information is very haphazard, but I put that is pretty much the context I would give it. And in the end, I give it a little bit more context on what I'm doing. I'm thinking about creating an app to help gym goers track their progress seamlessly. Before creating the prototype, I would like to brainstorm.
So if you're thinking about an application for a specific
Yes.
market, and you're thinking of a Web3 version of it, for instance, you can use the AI engines to do a pre-check. Okay, what are existing apps on the market? What is the necessity of using blockchain for this? And what are the opportunities? And specifically, for instance, is there data in there that would make sense to protect using COTI in this case, or other forms of encryption? And with that, check for the viability of what you're trying to build. And it's a few clicks away, let's say, to adjust your proposal.
All right. So while this is thinking, this is where I usually start my day. Especially if I have a new idea. Yeah. The good thing is, Robert, would you say that you were a detail-oriented person?
If I'm focused on a project I'm passionate about, yes. I'm someone who thinks about a lot of angles. So multi-stakeholder management, usually if you're in a project, or in my case, events. So,
Yes.
and the details, for those we build checklists for the fine-grained parts. Yeah.
I will admit I am not a detail-oriented person. So especially when it comes to starting a project, there are a lot of things that I don't. Of course, I wouldn't be able to think. Wouldn't be able to think of. Being in my shoes as a human being. For example, when you said that the pain point that you want to get fixed is not even having to interact with the app itself to record would be the most ideal. And what ChatGPT and also AI helps to do is also broaden your mindset, broaden your scope, and broaden your horizons to understand your potential client or customers a lot better. So, ICP recap. Competitive snapshot. Yeah, the also cool thing about this is it'll also help you put together pricing as well. But of course, this needs to change. But what is out there? Freemium. Most of this are freemium.
Yeah,
Have
for these you can
tried
use
those,
like maybe the paid models as well for like Gemini Pro for deeper research, or Clock even, or DeepSeek to
Yeah.
look into the more business side of it, let's say.
Okay.
Yeah,
so-
deep research from Gemini definitely helps doing that kind of analysis.
okay.
That's where the
Model
TPS can come in. So you
So
don't have to think about it. Yeah.
so have you tried the long graph, those apps that you mentioned?
I have tried strong trainerize here mostly for coaches. So this one is more tailored to coaches, and coaches can keep track of their clients here. This, to be honest with you, I've tried most of these, and I'm not very happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Bitbot, I have not tried. Alpha Progression, I've not heard of. Many of these I have not heard of. Voice chat first niche, but I can safely say that there's not one that is like actual. Imagine talking to ChatGPT and it logs your workout for you. That doesn't exist yet. Voice chat first probably is this.
So
Yeah,
you can put that information to ChatGPT.
Oh, you can just use ChatGPT. That's the thing, though, right? You can use ChatGPT to to log your workouts for you. Questionable on how well it can suggest help you progressive overload. But I'm pretty sure if I create a custom GPT with my workout philosophy, then it would probably be good. Yeah.
And also be aware, of course, if you feed your workout into ChatGPT, that is data which is going into a company, which can be reused, resold, or profile you further. Eventually might end up with your insurance company to increase your premiums, or we'll see what happens.
That's true. I imagine that is 1984 stuff. But so now that it has a good list of market viability, hook. I think this is still a bit too early to think. Fast validation before we even validate. Let's go with would a chatbot style interface.
Yeah, now I'm thinking back about the broadcast of last week, where Henry built a beautiful chatbot with make.com.
Yeah. With make.com into a Telegram bot. All right. And honestly, ChatGPT is your best friend whenever it comes to ideation. And also, but the thing about AI is that it will always be on your side and will always cheer you on. So it's very difficult for it to tell you no. So be wary of that and keep your wits about you, especially as a founder. You're very excited for this idea. This is the first idea you have. You're gonna latch onto it. Oh, ChatGPT,
Yeah,
GPT-5.
It's not critical at all.
Won't
That's
stand
I
down.
think it's the worst AI. It tries to only see the positive side of things, and as an engineer, I'm always see the critical and failure points, and ChatGPT only see to the bright side of things, right? The happy path.
Are you saying it's hallucinating positivity?
While
Yeah.
while we say that, but
it could, but it could be
Could you repeat
GPT-5
that, Kit?
just said no.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Kit.
Did you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I was saying that it was trying to be as positive as it could, but it couldn't towards the end.
Yeah, no, not here. So apparently GPT-5, at least, okay, all right. This is my first time using GPT-5. Before I had to be like, I had to prompt in like, be honest with me, say no if you need to. But no, it actually told me no. Chatbot UI alone won't stand out. It's UI flavor and not emote. So not unique anymore is okay. So it's telling me voice chat loggers already exist. UX reality. Voice in gym is messy. Okay, well, all right, fair enough. Platform pressure. So good. Now, maybe if it will just tell me those directly, if I'm just like,
Let's ask it, what would be good modes?
yeah, what
Differentiate.
would be good modes? Or is this space just too saturated?
I can
While we say
imagine
this,
if you're like have deals related with specific, like I mentioned, insurance companies, for instance, that you get to a certain critical mass B2B, or even if like your friends are using it, you could do it to compare and gamify it, that you compete with each other. Some games do that, like run games where you're chased by zombies on your phone, something like that.
yeah,
Um,
there are apps that do that for running, and people do compete for that leaderboard. Yeah, not me though. I don't like running. There we go. Proposing modes. Yeah, a lot of long nights talking to ChatGPT.
So that is the thing I want to try. Can you click
Yes.
on the link? Can you click on the link I just sent?
Let's see. Should I stop sharing or shall I just open it up? Let's see. Click on the link.
So I saw that video I think a month ago, and this kind of concept that turned me on because you can see the title. So he challenged the
challenge.
math AI to find $100 million for AI startup idea.
Yep.
I think we can use the same prompt to GPT-5 to see if it can fire us on
I love
$1
it.
million idea.
All right.
and then within the niche, of course, or in the market, Calvin is active as a trader. Oh, there
Let me try really quick for you. Just come back to
All right.
GPT.
All right. Okay. Closing that. And there. Modes that actually can stick. Progression engine, data loop, coach gym distribution. So basically, it's telling me to tell B2B could work, I suppose. But then you're competing with train rides anyway. Yeah. But I mean, whenever it comes to B2B, you can win by just by localization, right? Focus on selling it to the local gyms just around you and train them and give that personalized approach to it. Yeah, that could work, but it's still small, very hard to scale, I suppose. Yeah. Watch first, domain tune voice. Connects to your Apple Watch, I suppose. Program marketplace with named coaches. Okay, this is more marketing stuff. Ref share. Basically, partner with a content creator. Importer lifetime. Is it too saturated? Still growing and new winners. Okay, it's still being kind of positive about it, but crowded but not closed. I'll be real. This is where I would stop. I don't think my. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say it might be avoiding. Like if you scroll down, it says important lifetime analytics. So giving value to increase switching pain, but I mean, Yeah, I was looking for the value lock-in, as in that was something I was missing. But yeah, it's describing how to grow your market and maintain them, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't know if I
don't
would
think.
agree, but maybe it differs per target person, target audience. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. This is not exactly. After this conversation, this is not an idea that I would go forward with. Doesn't mean that it won't work, but I foresee that you're spending a lot of time, a lot of money into and getting very, very, very little returns, which is something that you have to think about in the long term. Yeah. As someone that strives for quick dopamine rushes and big wins, a saturated market is not a place that I would like to explore. What do you guys think?
Well, I think maybe if I'm not sure about this, maybe I'm still a little bit maybe the parts that I still don't understand, but I'm is there a direction where you can switch this to, like, because I think the path is great. It's just maybe the direction is just a little bit off, maybe.
What do you mean by the direction? In terms of who we're targeting or the app that we're creating.
Yes, I mean, like, I'm sure there's a lot of fitness app, right? And I'm not sure if you went over this, but I just want to know, like, what are the pain points of the actual fitness apps that are that's happening right now? And maybe you can
Oh,
use, yeah.
the pain point that we're trying to alleviate is Robert's annoyance of having to type in his workouts every time he does it, and having to think
Okay.
of what to type.
Um,
But
then
as we
what?
saw,
Mhm,
ChatGPT did research, and there are already a lot of those types of apps
mhm,
out there in the market. So I'm not the first mover in here. This is a space that has
a lot of
been
people has been jumping into the
yes, has
pool.
been explored exactly. So
Okay.
now the founder, me, thinking that I will have to dig deep and kind of make the decision: do I feel like I have my product, or I can make this a lot better than my competitors? For example, um, oh, within Bangkok, right? We have a lot of burger restaurants, right?
Mhm.
But there are still burger restaurants popping up. Why? Because the founders of the restaurant thinks that they can make a better burger than other burger restaurants,
Mm.
and so they started. Now, um, that is the decision they made. They can compete in marketing, as in market the hell out of their restaurant, or they can compete by quality. Um, but of course, all of that doesn't guarantee that they're going to have customers coming in. But the people do it anyway because they really believe in something. They want to get started, and they really feel strongly that I'm better than others. Yeah.
I would
Mm.
look at it differently also, as in this app is something we're trying to solve a pain for the user. But what it also means that you are the more users you have, you create a data generating pool. Basically, that data can be used for other purposes, and I'm not talking about being a massive reseller. It should be opt-in because I believe in privacy. But some things can be added. Like there are gamified apps for this. We talked about, like, there's where you like level, let's say, to get
Yes.
dopamine hits to the users. One thing we've seen if we take Web3 as an example, is that they've tried to monetize every part of the process, similar to what the gaming industry has done with microtransactions. And in the game, microtransactions, you have to put money in gaming to progress. In most cases, for campaigns in Web3, you earn a little bit if you do stuff for them or you sell your soul and you Twitter about whatever project. So if you're a lifting app, if you reach certain levels, perhaps you get discounts for that with partnerships you have locally, B2B. And that opens up new goals for the users as well to maybe use the app even more and recommend it.
That's pretty good, actually. It'll gamify it. Like if you lift a certain amount, you get to go to the spot nearby.
Yeah, or even like if you really want that second pizza, you have to lift first until you you're certified. Yeah. And the other thing was this data that you're using, that you're creating, is valuable for the user in its own journey. It's also valuable for others who might want to have a look at that data. And that's why I said opt-in. I'm not talking about insurance companies, because they have their own incentives. If you look at the incentives for the user, one of their needs could be potential partner. So what if your app is the app which provides certified trading data from a person to dating apps? If you fill out a dating profile these days, one of the questions asked is, do you work out and how much? But
really?
People put in BS. So if you don't, if you provide a feed which could give the user, after a certain amount of trading, access to exclusive apps like Raya, for instance, or something like that, that's a market niche there, I think.
Okay. It's like a third-party verifier for your fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist as far as I know.
It does not exist. It does not exist. Could also even push it a bit further, height and weight. Yeah. Okay, Henry, I'm gonna show the I put in the prompt for the idea. I want to create a business that's going to make me $1 million in 18 months. I also love looking at Reddit to find trends for business ideas to create. I want you to act as my AI co-founder for this process. Okay, I love it. They love it, apparently. Goal, 1 million revenue or profit.
You zoom in a bit.
What do you think?
For the viewer, perhaps.
All right, okay, let's see. How do I...
like maybe twice as big. That's it.
Boom.
Twice as large.
Can you see this now? Can you see this now?
Yes.
Okay. Goal, confirm.
All
1
right.
1 million in revenue or profit. $1 million in profit is insane. But do you want profit or revenue, Henry?
Revenue, I think one MRR.
MRR? Okay.
ARR.
If you're at 1 million revenue,
ARR.
you can get the partnerships and perhaps live from that already.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Available capital. What is our available capital? Let's go $0.
yes. Let's say that.
$0.
I think they're quite good at asking the team you can deploy, because there's something called founder market fit. So it will generate idea based on the strong team. So we can say that we have like 5 developers and 2 salesmen, 1 producer, something like that.
It remembers me. Never mind. There we go. Who teams you deploy? Let's go with Calvin Fields.
Okay.
And Henry. Dev. We're working on this together, Henry. All right. Weekly hours you can put in.
Mm-hmm. Put some with
all
week.
day, every day.
Okay.
Not realistic.
Damn, you're gonna
Not
grind.
realistic. Okay.
You're gonna
I would
grind this
start,
shit.
Maybe take the
have a-
4-hour work week as an example.
And please set a profit line.
Okay.
I can do this all day. Bro, Captain America.
Is there 3 hours per day? Okay.
That's
Not
right.
all day, every day, I guess. Thailand. Ooh, core strategy. Do we do it in Southeast Asia? Broaden it?
See.
Well, it's your local
Oh, wow,
market, so
it's
you know
actually-
it best. In that case, you also know best if it's actually telling the truth to assess.
Right.
Local
I wouldn't be
market.
surprised if AI spits out drug dealing.
Local market.
No, it has to be legal.
All right, okay. Southeast Asia, retain. Okay, you're already on the
With-
network sales
Is
DNA.
with
Okay,
Vigo on Thailand.
Wait, retainer 6 to 10K is what they're paying you, or you're paying them?
6 to
What you're getting
10K
paid,
per
right?
month. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
AI, SDR as a service, exec transform, deal flow engine, your obsession, Reddit radar, powers idea selection, lead gen, more towards sales. But I'm gonna add and tell it this. I'm gonna tell it this so that it takes you into account. Because right now it's just thinking of me and more towards sales side, which exhausted.
Of course, when operating remotely, you can also ask it, okay, make a comparison between regions to see where the best opportunities are and just target that one, building a website and an app from abroad. But assuming there's going to be some interaction in person locally, perhaps with partners, then yeah, think about that before you start.
Got it. Target is 1 million. 2 engine plan. Here's the leanest path. Cash engine. ICP list. Okay, this is cash engine number 1. Basically, sales agency.
I
Dealer.
think we
Yeah,
can narrow down to only software as a service.
Yeah, software
No.
as a service.
Yes.
Sales as a service. SDR as a service. Pretty much. Yes. This is more consultant thing.
No,
I mean, if your ICP
what's-
is asset heavy and regulated, that would require you to have an existing base of network or ins already, right? So there has to be as a resource, let's say, to make it work. Or you can build it up over time.
We can narrow down to software as a service, so you're not servicing anymore.
Right.
So we only do software as a service.
Right. Let's see. I'll focus on SaaS ideas.
AI. Leverage AI or blockchain or both.
Leverage AI or blockchain or
both.
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect.
So we are getting closer to 1 million.
We're making out $1 million here. Let's see. Even this, I think. Henry's build sheets.
Ready, draw.
Is AI at a point where there can be SDR, AI SDR as a service?
Done for you outbound booking.
Done for you outbound. Yes, that can be done, already being done, and book meetings.
I think that's interesting because LinkedIn had a huge potential for B2B marketing. So if you have like an AI automation that can reach out to the business and offer them, it can be done.
Ooh, actually, that's interesting. Okay. I'll be real. These two, I've done. I've done those.
Can Google and this like
PDP Copilot.
when
AI scans.
that's
Whoa.
I don't know about this.
You know this? I don't know what this is.
I don't know about this. It's about Thailand.
AI
scans Google.
Microsoft Slack line for expose. Yeah.
Data Protection Act. Oh.
Is this a good idea, Henry? Should we start this?
Is there a legal necessity for that in this region right now? And I imagine in Europe with GDPR, there's immediate necessity. And of course, the market is also pretty saturated at the moment. But is it something upcoming in Thailand that it suggests this?
Well, I would say PDPA is quite a pretty hefty fine if you get charged. Like for example, if you do, let's say if you go outside and you do street interview or you do photo in public, and you happen to have other people's faces in your in your photo. If it goes online, then you might get fined for it if they're not okay. So every time when you do photos, like a lot of photos get blurred.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the example. There
That,
are
that seems $1 million problem.
What
yeah.
two is awesome. Number two is awesome. Tenders are super old school here, and okay, cool. Oh my god, it's going up a little bit more, a little bit of background stuff. Adverse media, KYC.
AML. Adverse media.
KYC orchestrator.
Multilingual
What is this?
I do wonder if existing KYC providers don't have this area covered yet by being able to take local IDs into account, like passports. But
okay, I'm gonna for number one. Research PDPA. What would be a good way to say PDPA advancements? And in Thailand, is audits necessary? Such audits are saturated in EU. Is it the same here? And now we're kind of we're just narrowing down the ideas that we want to do. Do you like 4, Henry?
Can I see?
I still don't understand. I still don't understand what's 4.
Can I see the 3?
3. You want 3?
So for IPM user, AI summary, big work orders history, brief salary.
It's
No,
fast.
I think it's hard. I think the one is it's potential.
All right.
And can you ask any company do that on Thailand?
This?
So no,
It's
the one.
Number 1.
You can ask a competitor.
Okay, yeah. Competitor
Yes.
analysis. Competitor analysis, number 1.
Number 3 would require some insight into the industry if there's existing knowledge providers for this. Like,
all right.
And what are failure rates? As in, is it worth it to set up a system for this? Because currently, apparently, there's gaps, too many failures, too costly.
Yes.
And the fact that GPT-5 says so doesn't necessarily. I want some sources, let's say, but maybe I'm just too skeptic here.
All right. What's a work order, genius? Oh, work order history. Okay, all right, nice. Tender process number 2.
Monitor for public procurement fees.
Match. Basically, find public orders and fulfill that with some with a company.
I remember that there is start to do this on Europe or America. I don't know, but they make a lot. They make a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
Copilot.
Potential. Let's put that at that. KYC orchestrator. And this actually ties into to blockchain too. Or same as above. My pick. PDPA and Tender Copilot. Quick ship, clear pain. Use Reddit and LinkedIn to source early adopters. 14-day build. Sell plan. There we go. Quick math. 84K MRR. 60 logos. That's very ambitious. Very ambitious for year 1. Right. Cool. I'm gonna.
Okay. So we just need 6 to start the project. Not 60. It will 6,000 MRR.
I'm curious for number 1 and see how it goes. I kind of like it, but let's see what the competitor analysis is.
Competitor's probably going to be legal firm, I'm guessing.
Yeah. While we wait for that, cool. What do you think about it? What do you think about
There we
our
go.
ideas so far, Henry?
Number
Do you
one.
think this will work? Data play audit.
Previous data play audit rating required. Lawful basis mapping. Yes, it's not my.
Hmm.
To be honest, this is an area that I do not know much of. Basically, the pain that we're trying to solve here is that PDPA regulations is annoying to uphold, and we're checking for the company if if they are being lawful within PDPA. Is that correct?
I think the
Yes.
important part here, what it states at the enforcement bullet point is it's not EU level saturation yet. So I'm a former data protection officer in the EU. I remember when the GDPR was introduced. And we were, I think it was 2016 when we were starting to comply after it was announced. And the market for itself was brand new. So a lot of legal parties also jumped to it, started providing courses and certifications, et cetera, and services, B2B. And that is a market. And indeed, if there's not that many parties who have announced to jump on this, then you can become one of the niche partners there.
Okay.
But the point is, this is legislation. And there's legislation in terms of how the policy is formulated, and there's legislation how it is enforced, and what the requirements are in that whole process. And that might be, I do not know that well enough in this area. It could be pretty obscure, or could be very administrative, could be very bureaucratic load related to it. Yeah, that's to assess, I would say, if you choose to build this business.
Okay. Interesting. It feels like we need we need someone that understands PDPA law within our founding team. Would that be correct?
Yes, you're probably going to need a lawyer.
One.
So I base my view on it and my caution on seeing accountants in Thailand and all the requirements and paperwork and say non-digitized workflows that there
Yes.
are. And I'm thinking, okay, if
It's
you're going to
still
do
a lot of paperwork.
yeah, and if this is also going to be a lot of paperwork, is it then scalable? Yeah, that would be my worry.
Yeah. When we're still working with printing and scanning. Aegis. Audits, more audits. For some reason, it's going heavy into audits. Data providers.
So the part of PPA and also this part of audits, the product here is de-riskment or de-risking. If you still got the risk, you got to insure for it. If you can remove it with clarity, it means you don't have to insure or less, etc. So there's the benefits here can be big for businesses to focus on specific certification for something.
I'll be real with you. Like, these two topics are putting me to sleep. I would not jump into this.
It does help if you're solving a pain you also felt yourself.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't feel any of that.
Yeah.
That was no pain. I feel nothing for that. It's painful to look at. I mean,
Okay, well, let's now we looked at that. Let's now that we went through the process of you built out your mind map, say to showcase, okay, what will be the process I go through? What are the aspects? how would I verify myself, or to make sure how I do a checklist with myself, and then go to AI to check, in this case, with the prompts from him, to see if we can find a gap, and verify that. Now, I know, Percival, that you wanted to talk about or demonstrate a different approach, one that you've used in startup companies as well, where you were active. Would you like to
Yeah.
talk about that?
Yes, let me share my screen just a sec here so everyone can see a little bit of that. Okay. Should be showing in a second for you guys. Or not. Yeah. So I'm quite I appreciate a lot frameworks as a way to structure business or ideas. I came from software engineering, so we always worked with requirements and product managers that take decisions based on the kind of analysis you were doing here before. So there is a framework. In fact, it's an old framework. It comes from the 70s, from the University of Stanford and the Ideal company, which was a design firm by them. But it became quite popular in a few years ago, which is the design think model. And the difference from that is how do you define a product, how you understand what are your users, how you validate your ideas, and how do you do this as an iterative project, right? You don't do that only once. It's like the MVP approach, right? You start small and define what are the core things you want to build, what things bring much value, and other things that are smaller that floats around. How you define all those things so you can create, in our case, a software, be that a Web3 app or be that a SaaS, whatever you want to do. The approach is the same. You need to understand the users. You need to define the product, then you brainstorm, you prototype, and you evaluate that. So we have AI tools that do some of those things for us today. I can provide you a sample example for that. And then there are some more old school tools like Miro that you use to get people feedback. So let me help use Perplexity, for instance, to try to get in some real example. So let's say you have a problem in Bangkok, right, that you identified, like, well, there is a traffic problem in Bangkok, or there's a public transportation issues in Bangkok.
This is too real. This is too close to home.
Well, it's the same in São Paulo. But since everyone...
Bringing up old wounds here.
So I can ask Perplexity, or I can ask Google Deep Search or whatever AI tool I want to help me solve this problem. So I can ask it to help me find solutions for public transportation problems island in Bangkok using the design framework. So the first thing it goes through is trying to understand the pain points, as you mentioned, from the diverse type of people who use and the people who do not use public transportation, right? Because many people may use cars because the existing public transportation is not good enough. It has some problems. So you need first to understand the pain points and what are the daily challenges, the different type of people who use different kind of transportation phase. So this is like what we say creating the personas, right? Not only with only one type of user, but trying to test your solution for at least a set of users that might be your potential market. So here it says something about the inconvenient routes, connections, high fares, overcrowding, lack of access in suburbs. So there are different kind of users you might want to address, right? You don't want to solve the problem of a single user. Your solution could be evaluated among the perspective of those different kind of people. So after you understand that there are different people having different type of pains, right? You have the list of pain. You need to really clearly define your problem, right? What is feasible to do? What's feasible in terms of technology? What is feasible in terms of resources you want to use? For instance, you could create an app that provides you real-time schedule of public transportation, right? And it can even get you some how many people are in the public transportation, if the public transportation is crowded or not. But if you define this kind of app, will it have any kind of real impact? Just bringing the information for the end user, if the means of movement is still the same, the buses, the railway, whatever you have there. So you need to define what kind of value your app would bring to solve the problem, right? You need to define the scope. By creating an app, you won't solve all the problems of public transportation just creating an app. Even if you create a ride-sharing app for motorcycles or bikes or whatever you want to create, right? That would be part of the solution of the problem you want. It might have a small impact or a big impact, but you really need to define what part of the problem you want to address. And then we come to the brainstorm phase, right, where we have different type of users. You invite the users to be part of the brainstorming solution, right? And you need to validate your solution with real users all the time, right? So here we are discussing legal stuff like GDPR and whatever the same thing we have in Thailand, right? But we don't have any lawyer here providing us feedback if what we are discussing makes sense or not, right? So we're just speculating, right? We are not dealing with the real users. We would need to have a lawyer and some business owner, all part of the discussion. We need to invite those kind of users to our product development discussion. Otherwise, we are IT guys or we are marketing people. We have not a real perspective of the problem we want to solve. So we invite all those people to bring the ideas, and then we have some different criteria to evaluate those ideas. I can show that in a framework afterwards. And after there is some consensus of what are the ideas or the features that will bring the most value to the user, we go for the quicking prototype phase, right? We might choose to do A/B testing, or we might choose to have only one prototype. It really depends on how many resources we have on our team. But no matter what kind of prototype we do for this micro MVP phase, we always have the users as part of the acceptance tests, right? The users are in all the phases besides the build phase, right? The build phase, we have the technical team working here, but on the ideate phase, and also on the testing phase, we always collect feedback from the users to the prototypes we are creating, right? Well, and also we need a way to ponder this feedback, right? Because nothing is definitive, right? There are some specific kind of users that won't like your product, but it's not because only one user said your product is bad. You should just give up, right? That you need to have a minimum amount of feedback doing online, asking through online queries or campaigns to get. The more feedback you have about your product, you can start filtering that feedback as well. So I have used that framework with different clients for different digital products I created for small and big companies. If you go to Miro, it's one of my favorite tools, but there are many others around as well. There are many boards you have that helps you define this whole process and get feedback. We can do the whole process online. Everyone have their online post-its. We invite different users for those kind of sessions, right? We would be inviting the lawyers, the business owners to the GDPR section here. They would start defining the pain points they have with the current situation, and also defining other challenges and things they want to solve, right? And then we would invite those kind of users to vote for specific features we want, right? To reframe the problem, the project as specific solutions. And then we're going to go through a brainstorm session where we would try to find specific solutions for each of one of the pain points that were defined.
Could we go through this process with a specific idea, for instance, that you went through as an example, or one of the ideas that we've previously discussed?
Yeah, we might
to make it tangible for the viewer as well. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Let me get some post-its. If you want, I can share the link here, or I can invite you. I already invited Robert to some of my boards, but we can. The idea is that we can do those kind of things together, right? So the first thing we need to do to start running the session is to define what kind of problem we want to solve. We can go to the public transportation problem or other type of problems. What do you suggest?
Well, the goal of this session, of course, is the inclusivity of the community as well, to allow people to join in if they have questions or their own ideas. Thinking, because I was.
Would it be possible to do a poll?
But, that could be. We could just try that, of course. I can make a post right now, but in the meantime, let's go. So, Calvin, we went with one of your ideas. Kit, was there a idea that you wanted to validate in your ideation process tonight? No. Kit.
So
maybe next build.
Next build. Okay. We can't be out of inspiration on the cast. Come on, guys. No.
Inspiration.
Looks like you are still seeing only one tab for my screen, right? You
Okay.
are not.
Yeah, we're looking at the design thinking model. That's which is pretty static.
Yes, I was supposed to be sharing like 3 different.
So are you sharing Miro too?
Okay, well that.
Right. Okay.
Hence my question to make it more tangible.
Yeah.
I only see the design thinking.
Okay, let me. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes, take us on your process.
Ideas here on using different tools, and I say, well, people are really quiet here today. That's weird. Okay, let me share the. Sorry for that, folks. So yes, I was sharing here the models, and I was sharing the.
Oh wow!
Yes, I was going through, all the
looks very
steps
nice.
here, and everyone was silent. And I was also testing here the public transportation ideation, right? So we went through the design thinking framework. We asked Perplexity to go through all those steps, right, for solving the public transportation, to
Did
define,
you come up
emphasize.
with unusual ideas that you didn't expect?
It came with some different kind of ideas here, like one like linking the different kind of tools we have for creating a multimodal ticketing system, a different kind of payments, right? This is kind of unusual, right? Because there are different companies and trying to integrate that into a single experience. Shared mobility, this is kind of normal. And the one that I mentioned here as well, the having the apps for transit traffic transit updates, including public transportation, trying to understand what public transportation is available in the place I am. So that was the result of the kind of pilots it suggests, right? Creating, redesigning bus routes, subsidized fares, shuttle services for the remote areas, a public program for integrated fare payment. If someone needs to get more than one transportation model, it can be done digitally. I'm not sure if you already have this in Bangkok or not. And it also gives you instructions on how you can test that, right? Collect feedback from users.
It's interesting. I was actually part of a startup which did this, but then in Europe in 2016, 2015. Because the multimodal traveling was also not available back then. To have one ticket for, let's say, bus, tram, taxi, some train, and then flight combined, for instance.
Yeah, and
so there might be market potential there. Yeah, it's about the integration, which was the biggest hurdle. To make sure that all of them combined work in one interface for the user, so that it doesn't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, and that's something that you can also have blockchain as a way to integrate different partners, right? There are different systems. You can always try to use blockchain to integrate those companies in, and also split the fare, right? Because each user, like you pay it for a bill, and part of that bill will be sent to one company, part of their ticket will be sent to another company, right? Splitting the ticket when you have those integrated multimodal tickets. That's something that could be done with blockchain as well.
We did that actually back then without blockchain, as in that you could either choose the fastest route and give me all the immediate connections, or rideshare and then find out what's the cheapest form to do that, let's say. And then it would optimize all the connection points so that your taxis and connections would align, let's say. That's like traveling salesman problem in math. Yeah.
Yeah, and it also gives you suggestions on how you should test your solution, right? Measuring the travel time, the prices, the user satisfaction. Those are some metrics that you could collect to make sure that you're going to the right direction or not. So for any kind of idea you want, you can always ask those tools to make the design thinking analysis, and it will provide you some points you could check for an idea. The other way I was talking, and I thought that I was showing you, but I was not, was using those kind of graphical boards we have define the personas, where we send invitations, email invitations for the guests, where they have their post-its, right, online notes. They can go ahead and pasting them into the board to define the panes for each kind of groups, the voting, the reframing, the ideate. You can have everything in a board. And if you're in a physical location, you can just print that and go that into the walls. And you can have different kind of users participating in the process, helping in some kind of democratic way. And also getting different perspectives, right? I think the most important thing of this process is getting different perspective from different people, right? Because otherwise I'm going to be very biased into selecting my point of view as the way of my experience with public transportation, right? If I live close to the office, it would be completely different from the perspective of someone who needs to go from the suburbs to downtown, right? So getting the perspective of all those people helps you to have a brainstorming session where you can have more angles and different things to analyze on your solution. One of the things that doesn't help, and we usually need help from, and now we have AI to help as well, is to validate the ideas, right? After we going through all these brainstorm sessions, we can at least like try to get the list of the ideas here that came here, and go to, for instance, on Gemini and ask it to criticize the ideas and find for. So we can use deep research. Ideas to solve transportation. So I try to get the context, some validation parameters. So here for the single payment method, right? Be that a QR code, a card, a bank card. It says this is the most impactful low-hanging fruit. So it's the easiest thing that was tried in other places. It says it's a point of friction.
How many pages is this? It looks like a.
I'm sorry?
Report. How many pages is this? It looks like a report. Isn't it how it's?
Yes, it creates a report. I won't have time to read all the report here, otherwise it'd be late at night for you, right? But it creates a report validating all your ideas, right? The challenges for implementing those ideas, some recommendations, right? So this is the kind of thing that we can use in that phase to validate what kind of ideas we want to add as features for a prototype we are building, right? Or if it's the first idea, what's the one that's the most promising to follow? So it creates a very extensive report. We don't have really time to to go through all those things. It would be quite boring. But if you are really passionate about solving the public transportation in Thailand or in Bangkok, it's something that you might want to go through this exercise and see how much of those kind of advices that the tool is providing are really real to the reality you have there, right? Because it was written by an AI, right? I'm not sure that all the things that happen, this Magmon spider card failure, I'm completely not aware if that really happens or not. It's an hallucination. In 2018, do you remember that? Anyone who has been in Thailand in 2018?
I do not remember that everything, but it might, yeah, all in one card.
And can you repeat that again? In 2018, what happened in Thailand? I think I misheard.
you look at the
Mangum
screen,
spider card.
Yeah.
The government's initial attempt at an all-in-one card in 2018 largely failed due to technical incompatibilities between operating systems and lack of contractual enforcement to ensure participants.
Okay, I remember. So this is the card where you can travel on SkyTrain and the subway, right? And like other transportation. Was
I
it?
think it's like the British Oyster card you would use in London, for instance, or the OV card in Netherlands. And there's a few of those which allow you to use different types of transportation.
Imagine one card and you can use an MRT and BTS.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah. We have that. It was issued. It was on process for quite a while, but apparently they couldn't make it work. I think it was mainly because of the government. It was the issue between the company and the government that was actually the problem. It's actually, I don't think it was the system, because they can actually make the system work. It's just they have quarrel between the company and the government entities. That's the main problem.
To be fair, with governments, it's always hard to be able to say make it the system will work. In a context of legacy, in a context of required oversight, there's so many factors why systems sometimes have to stay in place for 20 years past their original support date, which I have seen. Just because of these factors, that it's hard to predict that a new all-encompassing infrastructure would be able to replace something without other dependencies. That's the sad truth. But yeah, our governments and countries are not businesses. They don't. You want them to be lean, but they don't always have to be, and they sometimes cannot be. Yeah.
Yeah, especially for Thailand.
Yeah, and also analyze not only the technical but also the economic issues of that system, right? One thing I was mentioning was the splitting the share between the different companies, right? And this is something that the report also brings, right? If you have this integrated system, how do you share that tariff fairly among participants? So that's one thing that needs to have government participation. So if you want to do a real system, you also need to bring to the table all the transportation companies and the government. If you really want to implement that, right? You can't just do that based on the feedback only of the users, right? While you were designing those systems, you need to have people from the responsible for the train companies, for the public buses, for the government. They all together here trying to have this discussion on how they could accomplish the goal of an integrating system. So if we design that based only the perspective of one person, of the user, or only on the perspective of one person, the government, it doesn't work. You need to have this multiple people conversation. I think that's the goal of the design thinking sessions.
Yeah, the collective brain power, but also to challenge ideas. Yeah, with fresh eyes and fresh personalities and fresh background knowledge. Yeah. Awesome.
That's pretty cool. We've created some real systems based on that, and they always give you different angles that no one in the room was thinking, because only a person of specific industry or some specific kind of user understood that pain. This is the good part. The bad part is it's hard to converge, right? Because the ideate part creates lots of ideas, and you have on the design thinking a part of the process that we need to bring those ideas together, back together into the product, right? Which is the converging, right? That's after you go to the ideate. You need to vote on the solutions, right? There are some tools to prioritize the ideas, right, into different quadrants. But the hardest part is really to not really to ideate, but how you converge into those ideas into a list of things that would be feasible for all the different participants you have in the group.
Especially with software. Yeah, because where to begin with all the connections you need to make to combine the incentives. Yeah. One of the founders I worked with for that, actually for the transportation app, he described setting up a new system, an application in this sense, connecting different existing markets as writing a book, but each of your developers starts on a different page. And eventually all the chapters have to align.
Yeah, you don't get a full consensus, right? Because there are different people, right? You always need to make choices, but at least you have an overall view of the process, not a view like for a single person. Well, I want to do this. I want to do this. An app for fitness for my needs, right? It's not for your needs. It's for a larger group of people. It's involved into the discussion, and from that you might probably get even different ideas that not only digitizing your workout, but also other pain points from different kind of users.
And it's interesting also to look at things that did not work out, specifically why. But that would require another prompt, as in, okay, why did tell me about the business apps that are not on the market anymore and why? What didn't work? I talked about this actually at one of our meetups. There is a museum in the United States which houses a copy of almost every grocery store product released by P&G, Unilever, etc. in the United States, because it's a museum of failed products. It's combinations that didn't work out because they didn't get a hook.
I think Google have something called Gray. Is all the product that's closed by Google.
Yeah, it's
a graveyard.
It's like a graveyard, yeah. And I believe it was either maintained by GfK or Nielsen or another research institute. That's a research agency. And it was to showcase combinations like, I'm making something up, but shampoo with the taste of tuna, for instance, that most likely wouldn't work. But you may find an example there, or a shampoo that tastes like peanut butter. Just making up some examples here. There's
something to eat while you're showering.
Yeah, there's weird combinations there. But the beauty is sometimes weird combinations actually find a new niche in the market. And it is one of the most riskiest things you can do, because if there's no predecessor, you got to verify why. Is it because no one thought of it, or is it because no one dared to, because it simply doesn't work? Yeah. With that, thank you, Percival, for sharing your thought process on this and the models you use in this. With that, I'd like to invite Henry to take us along his thought process and the AI tools that you've been using, developing, and showing us as well in one of the previous sessions. Yeah.
I will showing real quick because I think it may be too late. And let's see. So for the ahead, let's go to the framework first. So I researched on the YouTube. I searched AI validation framework, and I go like 10 12 video, and finally I have the framework overview. Here we have 5 steps to identify idea is working on us. First one is problem validation. So it's verify the problem your startup aim to solve. It real, it painful, or it's just vitamin. So we will scoring it, and if it pass 7 grade, it will be go to next step. After we validate that the idea is painful, we go to the market side analysis. So it determines that if there enough potential user that will use the product. So it will checking the TAM, the SAM, the market growth, the CAC, the revenue potential. So it's a step 2. On step 3, it checks the competitor assessment. So it check if we have any competitor and how strong they are. And then
all of this is automated, or do you give the input? Because you made this with Manus.
yeah,
AI.
it's going to be automatically. So first I need framework. So after I have that framework, I'm thinking like we can automate that process using using AI. So that we separate from for each step. You have see here we have you can put the prompt into the AI tool, and it will you can input your problem and your product, and it's in its prompt, and it will respond the report for you. So you can know that you can scoring the pain of the problem, the current solution, the problem persistent, and is willing to pay. And then you can decide you can go or just drop this idea, and you go to step 2 and do the same. I will send the link. Okay, so after building this Manus framework, I'm thinking that maybe I can automate a little bit more on that. I will do all the thing for you. You just need to input the problem and your product, and it will call the prompt for you. So I build this one. So it's called validate the startup idea, and it's called to Perplexity Sona. Okay, Perplexity Sona API. So you put the startup idea. I think I have a platform that have website to check the AEO and GEO compliant and provide tailored suggestion. So AEO is stand for Answer Engines Optimization, and GEO stand for generative engine optimization. So I think it's quite important for business today, because is when user typing something on AI and they ask AI like, what is the best shop outsourcing company in Vietnam. If you optimize AEO and GEO, you will be listed on the result in AI. And even if you search on the Google, now Google have they will ranking the AI answer on the first instead of website or advertising. No, let me check what is the most.
There's definitely a market shift from
And
users searching for answers directly into AI. Yeah.
yes, company in Vietnam, something in Vietnam. So you can see here when you ask in Google, always have the AI overview search here. and it will rank over the top. And you can see if you have the AEO and GEO good enough, you will be listing in here. So it will drive a lot of traffic for you. So I'm thinking that I can validate that using the platform. I put the startup idea and the program to solve, and I click on validate my idea. I click it already because I don't want to waste time. So this is a report. So it's called the API and check the problem statement. So many websites will like the effective tool to guide them to optimize AEO and GEO, and they have the key pain point, the scoring, and they have the overall score is 8, and the final decision is process, and they have some key insight here, and then they have some citation. You can read more about AEO and CEO, GEO, and then it check about market size analysis. So uh, the Perplexity, they have the tool to call the Google chain and can check if the chain is going up or just slightly slow or something. So it's first it's identify the keyword, and then this calls the Google chain to get the data. So you can see here we have the TAM is about 5 billion of SAM, SOM, and then they check the market growth and channel analysis, search for
And the view
answer, and
is
then
TN is the
optimization.
total addressable market, and SEM the serviceable addressable market. So
Yeah.
they're the actual market you can reach within that total amount.
So with this step, we have the information that the market size is large enough to, it's big enough for us to grow into, and the chain is going up. The Google chain is showing it as potentially grow in AEO and GEO need. So that's why it give is H score, and we just need 6.5 score to process. So the decision is processed to next step, and then we go into the competitor analysis. So I have the prompt that we go into their website and read the review. We will know that um, what's the feedback user give for the competitor. So maybe we can get some insight here, and we can build the Marlboro better than them. So you can see here they have for one, they analyze the website, and then they get the review and feedback from Trustpilot, from Reddit, and from I don't know, from Google. And then they found the pros and cons of each website, and what we can read it, and maybe we can thinking of the feature that can overcome them.
You see the gaps based on the feedback.
Yes. Yeah, you can see
And
the key difference to leverage it, like easy. It is of use for non-expert. So maybe we can build a platform that's more easy friendly for non-tech user, something like that. Or they don't have real-time AI engine feedback loop. We can have something like it like can be real-time and can notify user when something go wrong. Maybe. And then it will get the final report. So we have the 7.4 score over 6 score. So we process to, okay, it's over. It's 5 steps, and it has the final report here. So I think it's kind of potential idea. Maybe I can build a mini version of it, a free check for AEO and GEO for the website, and we can launch it and see if how many projects we input the website link into our platform to check their AEO and GEO, and maybe it is the next step for validation. Like
definitely.
people say,
Think, yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
so it's just like pre-validation for platform, but then we need to build an MVP and we will send to the user as fast as possible and get the real feedback, it's the real validation that we need. So I think it will be the next step for this platform. So I think I will go after this.
No, definitely. It's you don't need to be in the yellow pages anymore. You need to be you need it to be in the search results. And now you need to be in the AI results. Yeah.
Okay. You need to be at the top too.
Yeah.
Or at least first page.
So Henry, in this one, is this also in Manus? I don't see the URL for this one.
Oh, sorry for this one. I create a new domain called Vice Startup. Yeah, I think I can bring it into the new idea too. So Vice Startup is a platform to validate idea. vicestartup.onrender.com. So because perplexity API is costing me quite a lot. So you have to input your perplexity API key to use the platform.
Pay for your own AI.
Yes.
Okay, well, I think with this, thank you with this the comprehensive steps and report, and also the automation you can do with this. I think we've went through quite some theory today, with quite some examples as well. Yeah, I can definitely say that I've learned some things. I also had a lot of fun this session, and I can. With this session, I can also say if we ever have a question in one of our meetups, okay, I'm still working on my idea. Okay, if you want to learn more about ideation, do check out this stream, of course. So we ideated a new piece of material as well today together. So, and thank you all for that. Thank you everyone who joined on the stream.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. With that, I'd like to thank each of you. We got, let's see, we got Percival, Kit, Henry, Calvin, all together, Will in the background. Thank you for joining today. We will be back next week, of course, with new streams starting on Tuesday. And with that, I want to wish you a great day, morning, afternoon, or night, depending on where you are. And everyone, of course, stay COTI.
Hey, Cody.
Stay
Stay COTI, y'all.
Stay COTI. See ya.